Morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock on the 24th of February, 2025. Temperature is -7. It doesn't feel like -7. It's strange. Maybe, I don't know where they measure it. Maybe they measure it in a different part of Minsk. I don't know. But it doesn't feel like -7. It started getting warmer yesterday afternoon. Actually, it was in the plus. Yeah, so, well, the news. What's going on in the news? One, probably the most important thing, maybe in the long term, is that Germany now will get a new chancellor. The government has not yet been decided, but the majority party is the CDU-CSU. CSU only got like 6%, but it's a sister party of the CDU, and they always are hanging out together, I guess you could say. So they are. What did they get? What percentage? Anyway, they got a pretty good, decent victory. They call them the Conservatives, and the AfD, I guess, is you can consider more the winner because they increased the size of their party, and I think they got 16% of the vote. No, that was the SPD. No, they got over 20%, and the FDP is gone, and the Greens lost some. But I think they're still at 11%. And the Greens, they're not really, what do you say? They're not really the environmentalist party anymore anyway. They're the war party. So they like war now. I guess green suits them, you know? That's what color you normally wear in the military, isn't it? At least in the army. And Merz, he did not win on his policy of wanting to escalate the war against Russia, which is part of his policy. He wanted to give Ukraine the most devastating weapons that Germany has to offer. And of course, there are some people that are like that. And I don't know. You never know what's going to have to happen. He doesn't have enough seats in the Bundestag to take control himself. So he's going to have to form a coalition. And some people are believing it's going to have to be with the SPD, which was Scholz's old party, but Scholz is weg vom Fenster, so he's gone. What does that mean? He's removed from the window, so he's not any kind of a factor anymore anyway. He pretty much screwed everything up because of his stupidity and his subservience, and he actually was a very weak leader anyway. You know, sometimes you hear about these weak leaders. Assad was also kind of a weak leader, unfortunately. So when you're weak like that, even though Assad was probably a very decent person, you know, Assad of Syria, but his weakness, I guess, cost him to be accused of being, what do they accuse him of? Or being a brutal dictator, when of course he wasn't. His problem was he was maybe too much of a nice guy. As I said, I went around and I've known Syrian people or people from Lebanon, from the area, and they said, "Oh, what a brutal dictator!" And I was always asking, "Well, what did he do that's so brutal?" And nobody could ever come up with any evidence. It's very strange how the world works today. I guess whatever the media puts out, everybody just says, "Okay, well, multiple channels said that, so it must be true." And for some odd reason, Donald Trump was able to overcome that. I guess maybe he was speaking with a louder voice than a lot of the media channels were in the United States, so it didn't work that well with him. But you know, you still have a portion of people, who knows, 30% maybe, that believe all that stuff. Russia, Russia, Russia! And anything that they said about Donald Trump. But let me see, what did I write down here about this, the CDU winning and all that? I already said all that. I said all that. Some people are saying that whatever coalition is going to form, and like I said, a lot of people feel it's going to be the SPD and the CDU together. And I've even heard people saying before this election that it should collapse in a very short period of time, that it won't be able to hold out. I don't know why. I don't know. But the main reason why Merz of the CDU was actually victorious, so to speak, he got the majority or I wouldn't say the majority, but he got more votes than the other parties, is because of his immigration stance, apparently, because when I guess there's some brutal murders from migrants in Germany, in his state of Bavaria, he sort of started thinking, well, maybe people don't like that. Maybe he didn't like it himself. The people obviously didn't. And he started to get the message. And normally that's a strange thing with Western leaders, because it doesn't matter what their people think, they just do what they want to do anyway. A lot of them are all complicit in getting money from the deep states. If you call it the deep state, it's USAID, because so much money was poured in that, and it's become pretty well known now. And a lot of it funneled through Soros. Apparently, I'm just guessing, a lot of it was possibly even funneled through the Clinton Foundation. Anything is possible now. There's so much money, so much corruption, and it's undeniable that this is into the trillions, because they've already talked about 100 billion here and 20 billion there, 60 billion, over and over again. All these organizations. Soros definitely got hundreds of billions of dollars, and like I've said already in a few videos, I was wondering, well, how can Soros, and a lot of other bloggers were thinking, how does Soros have all this money to be spending it all over? Well, it wasn't his money, it was the taxpayers' money. I didn't know that. And a lot of people didn't know that. Of course, now that Musk uncovered this, it was the US government stealing the people's money, giving it to Soros. So I guess Soros was just a willing tool to spread out this money, to buy influence, for getting some of their stupidity done, LGBT and all that sort of stuff. Really, I mean, your head is like spinning. What the heck is going on here? You even see Elon Musk, who's actually getting this information. He's like throwing, what's going on here? I saw him with Trump, and so if that's your opinion and you're sitting there confused, it's you have the right opinion and it's very accurate. So you're thinking, what the heck is going on here? And it's like, I don't even see the point. I really don't even see the point of stealing all the money to get all this stuff done. And you hear about the migrants flooding across the border, and of course, it's more than anything about votes, getting votes. Manufacturing votes, I guess you could call it that. Maybe people have even said it with that description. I don't know. So, yes, let's see, what am I looking at here? Where am I at? Oh, I got this reversed. Let me change this around here. I should show you guys where I'm going. I didn't even see that. I got a little bit of a Bidenish, my, what do you call it? Cognitive maybe abilities are a little bit disturbed. So let's see, what else do we have here to say about the German election? I guess that's about it on the German election. Let me start from where I was actually starting anyway. There's some other information that came out, and that was, I guess, yesterday. I don't know when it was actually uncovered, but it turns out that, with all that stuff that was going on in 2020 and 2021, social distancing and lockdowns and all that sort of thing, but it's as far as the pharmaceutical companies are concerned, believe it or not, old Bernie Sanders was getting a big chunk of that money. So I don't really understand or know what Bernie Sanders' stance was on all of that, but it's very odd that he was also in part of that. And I was always thinking, well, Bernie Sanders, he's against corruption. I think a lot of people saw that or thought that, and that he was maybe just weak every time he noticed that he wasn't going to be, prominent or something like that. He always folded, and he went along with Hillary Clinton and all that sort of thing. So, and now he's going after Musk as well. So he's not any less corrupt, apparently. He's just maybe in a different way less corrupt, or at least appears to be, than his compatriots in the Democratic Party. So, a lot of people liked Bernie Sanders. I never had anything against him, but maybe I do now. And there's also, you hear about Zelensky going back and forth, and there was something saying that he would agree to these minerals or something that Trump is asking for, and now it's not, and I can't keep track of what he's going on anyway. But there was this thing where they're talking about how much money, and Trump, he was saying 350 billion, And before that, everybody was saying, and they pretty much agreed on 177 billion that the U.S. paid in. And everybody knows that it's way over 100 billion, way over. And there's no doubt about that, because Zelensky himself talked about it in the old days, and the Democrats and all. And they're trying to downplay it. And I guess Bloomberg now, Democrat Bloomberg, he actually ran for president at one time, little guy, and he has his own media outlets and things. He was saying that it's 90 billion. So it's like, wow, he probably was one of the ones that was saying it was 177 billion, and then Trump said 350 billion, and Trump wants 500 billion. And Zelensky's coming up with a bunch of bull crap and saying it's going to take, I don't know how many years. I think he changed a few times. Oh, it's going to take us 100 years to be able to pay that off, or whatever. I don't know. But that's not true. There's no truth to that whatsoever. It might take 100, because they steal so much money off the top. The people, let's say the establishment in Ukraine, very, very corrupt. If they didn't have these minerals, if no agreement was made, then of course it would take 100 years probably. And how many years did it take Russia to pay back the Lend-Lease program money that they got for World War II? And I think that was just, I don't know, maybe it was less than 10 years ago. From World War II, the debt paid to the United States. But Zelensky is saying that he's not going to pay not even the 90 billion. He said it was a grant. It wasn't any kind of a loan, and it probably wasn't a loan. I think even Donald Trump acknowledges that it wasn't a loan. But he wants to get some of that money back. He's a new guy in town, and Zelensky fleeced the American people along with Joe Biden. So it was like teamwork, and they ripped off this money from the American people, using US aid and all that. And so many people involved. I mean, you don't even have enough jail cells if you're going to lock up all the corrupt people. It's really incredible. And I even heard back in the old days, I think it was like 2007, Ron Paul was talking about how vastly corrupt Washington, D.C. is. And I think even Donald Trump was saying, drain the swamp, even his first, And Elon Musk, boy, oh boy, exposed how vast this corruption is. It is just unbelievable. Like I said, I was just talking already earlier in this. You just shake your head and you can't believe of all the corruption and all the money stealing. And I think I heard also, I don't know, you never know what's true, but anyway, I saw some article saying that Donald Trump fired even more people from the USAID program. And of course, Bill Gates was there saying, oh no, you can't do that. You got to keep going. And then there's also somebody releasing some information, and Alex Jones, of course, was one of them. And they're talking about some new sickness coming out of Wuhan. And some people are saying, yeah, they were planning that all the time. That's why they allowed Donald Trump to win so early on. And somebody was even saying it was a 2-month period, and hasn't been, or it was a month or whatever. After a certain period, they're going to release this sickness from Wuhan. And like I said, I don't know. And I mentioned that, I think it was yesterday as well. And so that's why they played dead and let Trump win, because I don't know. This is just theory. This is just theory. So here they're going to come up with another one, and I don't know. But the software guy, did I even mention his name? Sometimes I don't want to do that. He was talking about that there's going to be another one, and it's going to be even worse. And it's even amazing that they predicted the first one. So how could anybody possibly even know that? It's just undeniable. Anyway, you guys know what I'm getting at. The people that watch this channel, all of you, know how everything works. And you've been around enough. A lot of people are maybe around my age, and you guys know, because you've seen it all before. And it just keeps continuing. History repeats itself. What did Jesus say? There's nothing new under the sun. So this stuff keeps going, and it's probably happened long before any of us were born. Seeing the signs of this thing called corruption, stealing money. But I think that so much money has been stolen. It's never been stolen. They've been able to get away with this, and it's been getting deeper and deeper and deeper all this time. So it's like, to me, I'm wondering, how in the heck can you generate so much money that these people have been able to steal? And it's maybe a part of it is, like I said, the reserve currency. They spread the debt out to everybody on planet Earth. So billions of people are all paying a part of this debt. If you didn't have a reserve currency like this, you'd never be able to happen. But it's not even theory. There's a lot of truth to that. That's undeniable. But so what else are we talking about here? And I think maybe Donald Trump, when he's talking about, I said this already in a couple videos, that this $350 billion, that includes the private sector, I'm guessing. Donald Trump is beholden to a lot of these investors because they put him there. All presidents always are. It's not like they're taking their money out of or it doesn't cost any money. They got to get money from somewhere, and it's always the corporations. They're not beholden to any people, individual people, Americans, sending in $5 or something like that. They're in debt to these companies and the big rich people, and so obviously he's got to pay a lot of them back because Russia is winning, and some people say Russia has already won. Some people said that already months ago. So a lot of these corporations put in a lot of money, and can you imagine BlackRock? I mentioned this in one film. They're worth over $11 trillion supposedly, and just say they put in, which is to them peanuts, probably $50 billion into Ukraine, and then they get nothing back for it. Well, the BlackRock is beholden to all of their investors, which that's what they are, an investment group, and so they would take a big hit on that, and that's quite a bit of debt, even for BlackRock, even if they're worth 11 trillion. You got to make your, so to speak, make your payments out as time goes by, and so they got to get some return on that. And I think Donald Trump is actually, in that way, assisting them, because you don't want them mad at you. When you control that kind of money, you can control media and you can control a lot of things. So, and like I said, you guys can figure it out. There was another. Let me find out here. Let's see. This Bloomberg, I think I was going to say that one reason why he is also saying this 90 billion, because he's a Democrat, and if the real numbers come out, and these over 100 billion, 177 billion, or if you want to call it 350 billion, it just makes the Democrats look that much more stupid and corrupt. If it is, so they play the numbers down, and a grant of $90 billion in the course of 2.5 years. Israel doesn't even get close to that. Israel just gets, I think from the taxpayers, they get like $4 billion every single year, and they never have to pay that back. And you know how that works. A lot of people have already talked about that in the past. They allow them to well, Israel says they've never defaulted on a loan, but Congress, because of the system and how it works, Congress always says you don't have to pay it back, so then Israel can come and say we've never defaulted on a loan. So in other words, they've never paid it back, but they've never defaulted. I guess that's the way you want to say it. But there was another thing, and I didn't write it down, but I remember it now. Zelensky said he would be willing to resign, and if there's anybody that's good with working things over, say from the Trump team, I guess, you can use that. You can use that against Zelensky in some way. And but Zelensky said, basically he's saying, like, under one condition, Ukraine gets let into NATO, then I will resign. And I mean, when you ask, well, why did this war even start? It was because Ukraine was going into NATO. So Zelensky knows that's a non-starter. So he's just playing stupid, or he's thinking that he's going to play everybody else stupid. And you have a lot of the stupidity going right now, and you might wonder if there's any collusion between, say, Keir Starmer from the UK, who's going to meet Donald Trump next week. And I guess Macron is going too. I didn't know that. So they're both going to go over there. And they think they're going to maybe convince Donald Trump to keep the war going, keep money going to Ukraine, which means keep the war going. And obviously they're going to say, well, yeah, let's go into Russia, and then we got even more resources. I really don't know what they're going to say. But I strongly suggest that Donald Trump really does want to see the killing stop. And if he doesn't, if he keeps the war going, then he's actually going to lose a lot of credibility when he starts putting money into Ukraine and Ukraine keeps the war going. I don't think he's going to even do it in a covert way, because if you see what's going on, they're kind of on a roll right now trying to stop corruption. And if Donald Trump, in that same time becomes part of the corruption, it doesn't really look good for him. So people are going to play that out. That's just saying. So I think these guys are going to be disappointed. But they're going to have to walk away and making it look like it's some kind of a victory. So it makes you wonder, well, how are they going to say this? Maybe it's going to come back with, with some sort of reparations money. I have no idea. And there's a lot of lies and exaggerations and things going on about now, like some coming from Zelensky. And Zelensky, he wants to keep the gravy train rolling, and so does Keir Starmer. Maybe a lot of these companies, maybe their military-industrial complex, maybe they're invested in that. Maybe they want to keep going. I don't know. I don't know which investments are going, and why is it so important for Europe to keep the war going. And that's exactly what they want to do, and you all see that. I don't know. Makes you wonder about these people. But I can speculate on lots of things, and the rest of you can as well. And you hear a lot of things from a lot of people. But it's all about money. It always is about money. So you got to start looking to connect the dots on that sort of a level. And that's actually about all I have today. It's not a long video. What time is it? Oh, it's 22 minutes. So it should only take about 3 hours to upload. So I don't really know. Sometimes they upload these videos a little bit quicker, very rarely. But then when it's going fast, then they stop it, and I have to start all over again because it stops completely. And somebody else was writing, one of you subscribers that has a channel, Surreal World, I believe, and that they do that sort of thing to him sometimes as well, or her. I don't know if I don't think I know if it's a man or woman, but YouTube has their games. But it's, I guess when you're putting out information that the establishment doesn't like, the software guy and a lot of these other people, you are beholden to them, and you have to try to hinder these channels that are putting out information that these people don't like. So, and maybe get us removed, or that we get too frustrated and we leave ourselves. So that's just a theory, though. I don't know what the truth is. So I'll end right now, and thank you guys for joining me. Thanks for comments, and thanks for the watches. And, well, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.